Kruk and Jay Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today here in Cincinnati, Ohio, to talk about your new show that will debut this Thursday on the CW Cincinnati, Beauty and the Beast. And I wanted to start by asking you both if you could quickly, for viewers who may not know the whole premise of the show, because it's a little bit different than when people think of Beauty and the Beast, you know, the Disney version or the 80s version. Could you tell us a little bit about your characters and the premise of the show?
Yeah, the show is, like you said, it's loosely based on the 1980s series with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman. In our version, Katherine Chandler is a police detective. You meet her when she's about 19 years old, and her mother's murdered in front of her, and she's saved by this beast. And she, questions it. People, make fun of her. And essentially, 10 years later, she starts to, on a case, discover DNA that matches samples that she had before. So that's Katherine in a nutshell.
Right, and I guess where Vincent comes into that is that he is, to create this beast, he's being part of a military experiment that's gone awry. So he's escaped from the experiment and basically come back to New York City to try and find the cure to this demon inside him. So he's kind of locked himself in hiding, really. But to do so, at night he sort of goes out and becomes this vigilante and leaves his fingerprints sort of over New York City, where Katherine
discovers them.
Now, when you're doing a show that is loosely based on something that we've seen before and that people are familiar with, are there any challenges that come to playing these roles that people have seen other actors play before? I know this is a very modern version of, that 80s show that we did see, but what kind of challenges come with playing characters that we have become accustomed to before?
Well, I guess as actors, we have to hopefully break the expectations of what the audience are looking for. If they're looking for a replica of something they've seen before, then they're not going to get it. So hopefully they, open us with wide arms and enjoy our take on the characters.
All right, and Kristen, you're no stranger, obviously, to the CW. We saw you for many seasons on Smallville as Lana Lang. And so this is very familiar territory, doing kind of a supernatural kind of show for you. But this also seems very different than your Lana character. She was very sweet. This character, although, may seem sweet, but it's also seems kind of gritty and strong. And I know you had to do some martial arts in the show as well. What kind of training did you have to do to prepare for this role?
Well, it's funny because yeah, Lana was incredibly sweet and wonderful and all those things. And I think for me, I grew up doing martial arts. Like, I was in karate from like 3rd grade to 10th grade. And I also, did gymnastics and dance. So all of that training has come into play for Katherine, for me. I get to and I did this movie Street Fighter as well, so I did a bunch of training for that. So all of those things that I'm actually fairly capable with, I get to utilize, which I didn't as much with Lana, although I did a little bit.
All right, and Jay, how does this differ for some of the characters that you have played before?
Well, what is great about this character of the Beast, or Vincent, I guess, is that his moral compass is kind of, on the tipping point. A lot of characters, they have good and bad in them, but they're swayed to one side, whereas Vincent sort of runs between the whole gamut. You're not sure if he is this murderous villain or if he's just a normal guy trying to have a relationship with a woman. So that's what I love playing about this character, is it can go anywhere in a day for me when we're shooting and within an episode as well.
Now, doing a show like this brings in a lot of fans from a lot of different realms, but also sort of that, the supernatural kind of fans who really get attracted to the show. Are you guys, did you go to Comic-Con this year? Have you already started to attract those kind of fans?
We did go to Comic-Con this year. It was Jay's first Comic-Con. It was awesome. It was crazy.
We actually premiered the show to like 5,000 people. So that was our first public audience viewing, and it was great reaction, and it was great to get the natural fans' reactions as opposed to critics and stuff like that, to see what a whole range of people were liking and what they wanted to see before we went into actually filming the series.
All right. Well, and I know the critics have been giving it some great reviews too, and everybody can check it out this Thursday, October 11th. It will premiere at 9 p.m. right here on the CW Cincinnati. Kristen and Jay, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with the show.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.